Small boats, such as this, lie broken upon the sands of this isle. This net has been set out so as to dry in the warm ocean wind. Lord Poseidon spared neither the mighty Argo nor her oarsman Danaus, whose once tanned flesh is now made of the same sharp rocks about him. This isle is littered with such debris, broken reminders of man's folly. Here stands strong Argonus, warder of Ocalia and friend to all who put oar to Poseidon's dark waters. Now nothing more than sodden planks, this skiff is a home to small crabs and fish. This statue appears to be under construction. Considering the dire circumstances, it may remain so indefinitely. A small opening no wider than 2 shields can be seen in the cliff's face. The simple robe of this man betrays him as an attendant of some god. Which one, however, is unclear. Laden with empty barrels, this wooden cart sits idle, its heavy wheels resting in well-used ruts. Of men who would share the toils of his brethren, none compare to fair Asterion. This man appears to have been shielding his eyes from the very thing that took life and left only stone. Although no fire burns within, this clay stove is still warm to the touch. This creature had nary a chance to escape its petrified fate. This chicken wanders aimlessly upon the sod, as chickens are wont to. Heavy ropes bind the rungs of this simple wooden ladder. Powered by the large blades, a heavy stone moves slowly within a wide grinder. The bane of this isle has claimed both the young and the elderly without prejudice. Flint and steel are inadequate to start a fire by themselves. A soft tinder is required to produce the flame. Small bits of crushed flowers flake the rounded edge of this pestle. 'Tis a pouch made of sheepskin, complete with leather. This parchment is inscribed with 3 illustrations of native flora. Next to each is a name and a brief description. Datura, purple trumpet flower. Black nightshade, white flowers with berries. mandragora, green leaves with red flowers. Near the bottom is a drawing of fire, and within it, a single word: sleep. The sailor pulls the mandragora from his satchel and places it in the mixing bowl. Without fanfare, the purple flower is added to the mixing bowl. Both the leaves and berries of this black nightshade are dropped unceremoniously into the bowl. The bowl filled, Argonus crushes the ingredients into a pulpy mix, one that smells faintly of lavender. Argonus takes the newly created mixture and drops it into the small pouch. This sack likely contains grain, or perhaps corn. This hide has been set out to dry, no doubt to later be used as clothing or bedding. This small bed looks uncomfortable, even to a lost, weary sailor. The look of horror on this mother's face is a thing to haunt dreams and drive men mad. Argonus places the tablet onto the wall. With a grunt of satisfaction, Argonus finds the correct spot for the piece of sandstone. While placing the piece in the proper spot, childhood memories flit through Argonus's mind. Argonus places the tablet onto the wall. The piece of sandstone fits snugly within the hole. Sadly, pleading for one's life will not deter that which relishes in bringing both horror and death. This large shelf is stocked with various vases and bowls. A few distinct images can be observed on this stone slate. It certainly warrants a closer look. Animal skins have been laid across this small wooden bed. Argonus sets the piece within the mosaic tapestry. Tireless winds blow past the form of fair Archon, who was well skilled at inferring from sun and star the stormy winds. The form of a child, still in mid-stride, is no more than a lifeless statue within tall grass. The stone piece appears to fit perfectly into the space on the wall. The mosaic now complete, depicts an epic battle reminiscent of the tales of Jason and the Spartoi. The insatiable hunger of harpies is well documented. The beast's desire for gold, however, is not. Zetes, the son of Boreas, shall stand battle-ready for all eternity. While impressive statues dedicated to the goddess Hera are not uncommon, the dearth of pious attendants is troubling. This pouch has been filled with a mixture of 3 strange, heavy ropes bind the rungs of this simple wooden ladder. Argonus places the ladder against the rocky cliff before driving the legs into the wet sand. This silver drachma is oddly struck, bearing the image of a grinning skull. Silver drachmas are not uncommon, but the scoring on this piece is unusual. 'Twould be more fitting were it found within Hades' temple. This blade, known as a Zaphos, has been neglected. Its edges are dull, and the metal is rusted with age. A blade this dull would be of little use to even a common cook. It needs to be made sharp. Having endured sore afflictions and beached ships, 'tis sad to see Arius, son of Bias and brother of Teleos, in such a state. Sword raised, Argonus calls upon Hera, praying the great goddess will reveal herself. The Mother of Ares obliges the sailor when the statue slowly comes to life and stone lips part.
Argonus,
She says,
stand where you are and move no closer, for you are on holy ground. I have watched you from afar. I have seen your mettle. I have felt your anguish. Did you know that the gods feel anguish as well? Perhaps not for fallen comrades, but certainly for that which has been taken from us. Zeus's pets have taken to roost, defiling my golden orchard, which now lies fallow. I need but one warrior who would reclaim it. Reclaim my honor. Would the name of Argonus be immortalized thus?
Argonus says nothing and raises his sword once again. Hera nods even as the sailor feels her eyes move from his face to his chest, and then finally resting upon his weapon.
But this sword is ill-suited for such a task. Its blade is dulled, but I will grind it fine. Its tip broken, but I will make it like new.
Hera transforms the weapon, reshaping the steel with nothing more than a wave of her hand. As Argonus marvels at the restored sword, Hera reverts to stone, but not before a final warning.
Prove yourself, sailor of the Argo, and you shall be rewarded. Fail in this, and not even Athena can save you.
With a quick stroke, Argonus removes a small clump of the beast's fleece. Combined with flint and steel, the wool will serve as tinder and, no doubt, produce a fine flame. Argonus drives the enchanted sword into the Hydra's mouth. But even using considerable force, the sailor of the Argo can extract no more than 3 of the beast's teeth. As if awaiting the first act of a great play, a circle of tall, silent stones surround Argonus as he reaches for the teeth of the Hydra. With a sweep of his arm, he tosses them into the shallow water, like a farmer sowing his field after winter's winds have faded. The ground trembles beneath the sailor's feet, followed by an uneasy silence. Then, one by one, skeletal foot soldiers rise, their stalwart shields bearing the mark of the very thing that birthed them. The undead warriors look to the trees and move as one toward the harpies that desecrate their branches. They engage the beasts with fury, raising sword and spear, staining the green sod below with splatters of red. After a short skirmish, the dogs of Zeus relent and are driven from the dense boughs and into gray skies. Victorious, the skeletons remain, ensuring the safety of the goddess's orchard. The skeletal soldier stands at attention, perhaps guarding the grove, perhaps awaiting further orders. Whether the golden skin of these apples was transmuted or grew as such is just one of the many mysteries upon this isle. "'Tis reasonable that the harpies would desire an apple such as this so fervently. Not only is the skin covered in golden flake, but the interior is assuredly a sweet morsel." The insatiable hunger of harpies is well documented. The beast's desire for gold, however, was not. It takes naught but a few heartbeats for the statue to stir, and the mother of all gods to awaken.
Well done, sailor of the Argo.
Hera says.
You have driven the harpies from the boughs of my orchard. Their broad wings have taken them into the skies, and their lamentations are heard no more. And what is your reward for such courage? Gold that rests within your palm? Your name remembered in my great halls? Yes, it shall be these things,
the goddess says as she returns to stone.
But step outside this place and see if it can be so much more.
Gazing skyward, Argonus witnesses Hera's promise glide down to the earth upon wings of purest white. No doubt a gift from the goddess Hera herself, a noble steed with white wings and ivory coat stands waiting. Golden apple in hand, Argonus approaches the stallion with trepidation. But the sailor's worries prove unfounded when the horse gently shakes his snow-white mane and accepts the gift. Sensing a kinship, Argonus straddles the great winged horse, and for a few moments at least, leaves the burdens of the world far below him.